So students, in this lecture, we will know about our grid layout. Okay, it is also a styling property. Okay, suppose you can make your we are using floats to float the elements. Okay, but here we'll make a grid system. Suppose here you can suppose we'll start doing it. Okay, then you can understand. Okay, we'll give our grid layout topic. Suppose we'll create a div. Okay, suppose we'll give any name. Suppose I will give grid only. Okay. Then I will make another div, and I will also give this a name like items. Suppose here I will like give any text. Okay. Suppose I will give some of the divs. Okay. I will give some numbers here. Suppose I will give 9 numbers. Okay. So now we have like created our two divs. Okay. So first we have to style it. Suppose we'll save it and let's see our layout look like. Okay, we'll go to our page 25.html, refresh it. Now our layout look like this. Okay, because we haven't added any styling in here. Okay. Suppose we'll style it and then we'll first like design our grid. We'll target this grid. Okay, by its class name. So we'll use a display property. Okay, so we'll use a display property as grid. Okay, suppose we have used a display grid. Okay, now we will design our items. Okay, suppose we'll give our items class and we'll suppose we'll give a border of 1 pixel solid red. Then we can also give a background color of can give Bollywood. You can also give a padding of 20 pixel. Okay. Suppose I've given these styling. Okay. Now let's save it and refresh our page. Okay. See now it has like some styling done to it. Okay. So we have given our display grid property here. Okay. But it is not looking like that. Okay. Suppose we want to split these rows into, suppose I will split these rows into 3 columns. Okay, of 60 pixel width. Okay, so what I will do is I will add another property, that is grid template columns. See here we have to distribute it into 3 columns. So we'll give the width. Suppose we want to give a width of 60 pixel. Okay, so you have to make 3 columns, so you have to give 60 pixel 3 times. Okay, now save it and let's refresh it. See now our grid is made. Okay, by adjusting it into 3 columns and a width of 60 pixels. Okay, suppose we can also increase its width. Okay, suppose I will give 200. Sorry, I will give a 200 pixel width, and here also 200 pixel width. I will keep it 60 only. Okay, I will save it and I will refresh it. See, now our two columns are of 200 pixel width and this is 600 pixel width. Okay, suppose we want to adjust our grid to our whole width. Okay, and we don't know the width of the screen. Okay, we want only to adjust the it into different screen sizes. Okay, so we can also use a property auto. Okay, auto means it this grid auto adjusts itself to various screen sizes. Okay, so we'll give three auto property here and we'll save it and refresh it. See, it now adjusts itself to the screen size. Okay, the selected screen size. Okay, so you can adjust itself according to various screen size. Okay, so we can here suppose when we remove this auto property and save it. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, see now the like the grid container split it into two halves because we have mentioned only two columns here. Okay, so this grid columns is distributed into two halves. Okay, suppose we want a four column grid. Okay, so we'll give four auto, or we can also give the width of that particular items. Okay, grid items. So we'll save it and refresh it. See, now we have four columns. Okay, you can also apply auto property here, or you can also give the width manually of each and every column. Okay, so suppose we want suppose we want to uh, give some space between these grids. Okay, suppose we want to give some spaces between these grids. Okay, so we can also give that. So how we'll do that, we'll apply a grid row. See, here you will you can apply various properties here. Okay, so we'll apply a grid row. Okay, suppose we'll apply 20 pixel, suppose. So here we want to we want to give the spaces between these columns. Okay, so these grid columns. Okay, so we'll not give a row gap, we'll give a column gap. Okay, we'll give a grid column gap. See here why it is coming like this, because it is now depreciated. Okay, so you have to also keep in mind uh, to use this because all the browsers don't support grid layouts. Okay, only 57 version onwards of Chrome supports this, and like uh, 14 or 19 Internet Explorer version onwards it supports. Okay, so you have to keep in mind the browser support. Okay, suppose I've given a grid column gap of 20 pixel here, so I will refresh it. See, now this these grid columns have a grid gap of 20 pixel. Okay, now we'll check like browser support of grid uh, like browser support for grid layouts. Okay. So we can also check from here. See the okay 15 version. Okay, Internet Explorer after 15 version it is supported. Okay, if you want to use like below 15 version you are using Internet Explorer, so you have to use this ms grid columns, ms grid rows. Okay, so you have to apply this prefix ms. Okay, okay, so you can have to like keep the browser support in mind. Okay, suppose I will use the w3 schools here. See, it is supported from 57 version onwards in Chrome. In Internet Explorer, it is supported from 16 version onwards. In Safari, in Firefox, it is supported from 52 version, and in Safari, it is supported from 10 version, and it is in Opera Mini, it is supported from 44 version onwards. Okay, so it is not supporting like the standard we are like make we are taking is Internet Explorer 9. Okay, so in all browsers it doesn't support this grid layout feature doesn't support. Okay, so now we have given a grid column gap. We can also give a grid row gap. Okay, so we'll give a grid row gap. Suppose we'll refresh it. See, now we have a grid row gap of 20 pixel. Okay, earlier we have grid column gap. Okay, now we have grid row gap of 20 pixel. Okay, suppose we want to like use a shorthand property for rows and columns gap. Okay, so we can also use a grid gap. Okay, here first we'll give a 20 pixel row gap, then we'll give suppose 30 pixel column gap. Okay, suppose we'll save it and refresh it. See, now we have a 20 pixel row gap and 40 pixel column gap. Okay, so we can also use this property of grid gap. Suppose I will use this in our next line. Okay, suppose we'll give a grid column gap of 40 pixel. Okay, so we have given two properties. Instead of these two properties, we'll use only one property, that is grid gap, and we'll use first row gap and then second like our column gap. Okay, so now let's refresh it. See, we have a 20 pixel row gap and 40 pixel column gap. Okay, suppose if you want to give like both the gaps equal, you have, you want to separate both gaps equally, like row gap and column gap should be equal, so you can also give only 20 pixel. Okay, width, row width and column width. Okay, column gap. Okay, you can give like this also. Suppose we'll save it and refresh it. Now our column gap and our row gap is same. Okay, so you can use only one property value, so it will be considered as row gap and column gap. Okay. We can also apply one more property here. Suppose like when we have like we can also like adjust the width. Okay, suppose here we can adjust the column width and the row width. Suppose we can also adjust it this like we want to shift these. Suppose we remove this gap first. Okay, press it. Suppose we want to place this column here. Suppose we shift it, want to shift it from here. from here to here. So what we'll do is, like, we can give a start and a end column. Okay, suppose we want to like place this, we want to give this much space to our one item. Okay, suppose this one, this whole width we want to give to our one first step. Okay, so what we will do is, we will see, and the starts from here. Okay, it starts from here, column starts from here, 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, so there are 4 columns and the row starts from here, one row line starts from here, 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so what we will do is, we want to like this, give this whole width to our first step. Okay, so we will shift this column here. Okay, so applying that property, we will here, suppose we'll like comment these out. Okay, so we have to make our, suppose here we have applied these, and we'll save it, and suppose we have this layout. Okay, suppose we want to shift these like shift these columns here. Okay, suppose we want to make this first div this big. Okay, suppose we want to shift 2 in 3, 3 in 4. Okay, so this 9 will shift in here. Okay, so this first div will take two divs width. Okay, so how can we do this? We are applying, so we'll apply a styling property here in our first div. Okay, so suppose here we'll give a class name as item1. Okay, so we'll give target it by its class name. Okay, so we'll give a property here, that is grid column start. Okay, means the starting column. Okay, now we have to give a ending column, till which column we want to extend our div. Okay, so we will give a ending column, we want to shift it to 3. Okay, now we will save it, and now we will refresh it. Okay, see, now this div is extended to the third column. Okay, in here. Okay, so it is extended up to third column. It is the first column here, previously second column used to be here, and this is the third column. So our first div is now extended to the third column. Okay, suppose we can also do it as 2. When I will change the number, see, now it is the default because it is up to the second column by default here. Okay, so we will change it to like 4. Okay, and see what happens. We'll save it and refresh it. See, now it is extended to the fourth column. Okay, so you can also extend or descend the numbers according to your requirement. Okay, suppose here we are like increasing the width of the divs of the columns. Okay, we can also increase the like row column here. Okay, suppose here we are getting the first column, this is the second column, and this is the third column, and fourth and fifth. Okay, so here this is the first row, this is the second row, this is the third row, and this is the fourth row. Okay, So in the same way as we have given the grid column start and grid column end, we'll give a grid row start and grid row end. Okay. Suppose we'll place 3 here. Means it will start from row 1 and it should go till row 3. Okay. So we'll save it. See, now our first div is extended to row 3. Okay. This is the first row, this is the second row, and this is the third row. So it takes spaces of 2 rows. Okay. Up to means up to row 3. Okay. Row 3 line. Okay. This is actually line 3 of the row. Okay. And this is the line 1, line 2 of the column. Okay. So you can adjust these properties. Okay. Now we'll know how to maintain spaces. Like suppose we want to give equal spaces to all the divs. Suppose let me apply. Suppose here we'll apply a grid gap. Suppose here I will apply a grid gap of suppose 10 pixel. Okay. And now we'll remove these here. So suppose I will neglect these. Okay. And we'll save our page. Okay. So now we want to uh, like uh, here we haven't like here this is there is extra space. Okay. So we want to justify our container and our items. Okay. We want to maintain equal spaces all around the divs, around the side containers. Okay. So what we will do is first we have to apply a property, that is justify content. Okay. We'll see here various properties are present. We can apply any of these. Okay. First we'll take our space evenly. By the name you can understand it will be evenly means it will be evenly spaced. Okay. Means equally spaced. Okay. See, all the columns are now equally spaced. Okay. Suppose we'll add a background color into our containers. Okay. Background color to our container. Okay. We'll apply a different color of maroon. Okay. Suppose we'll apply a maroon color. Okay. So you can see here we are getting equally spaced columns. Okay. So here we can use another justify content property also. Suppose we can also use space around. Okay. In this space around you can see if this divs columns spaces are equal, but these side spaces are not equal to these div spaces. Okay. So in this space around property, what is happening, all the div spaces will be equal and all the side spaces will be equal. Okay. So in evenly spaced, in this space evenly property, we are getting all spaces equal, the side spaces also and the div spaces also. But in space around, the div spaces are different and the side spaces are different. Okay. There is one more property, that is space between. Okay. See, it will neglect all the side spaces. It will only maintain the div spaces. Okay. So you can design it according to your requirement. Okay. So you can apply space between, space around, or space evenly. Okay. So you can space it like give your space according to the requirement. Suppose we'll give a center, justify content. Okay, suppose we'll give a justify content of center. So suppose just a minute. Suppose we'll give a start. Start means the default one. Okay, see the whole, like this, our whole item will go to start. Okay, means here. Okay, suppose we can also apply, it will start from left. Okay, and when we apply end, it will start from right. Okay, see now it is starting from right. Okay, I've one more here. I forgot to tell you, one more display is there. Okay, suppose we'll like neglected, and here one display is inline grid. Okay, what it will do is it will, this property, suppose we'll not turn it to inline grid, will change it to grid only, and we'll refresh it. See now our container is of grid. Okay, of display grid. Okay, suppose when we change it to inline grid, our width and height of the divs will be gone. Okay, see now our width is not considered. Okay, because now it is an inline grid. Okay, like we have discussed in our inline block and inline and a block. So the difference was, in inline we can't apply the width property. Okay, or padding top property. Okay, so in inline the width property is neglected here. Okay, so suppose we'll change it to our grid only, and now this layout comes. Okay, so we can change it to inline grid, or we can change it to grid. Okay, suppose here we can apply here. So various properties are there which we can use with justify content. See here various properties are there. Okay, so we have discussed more commonly used. Okay, start, end, left, right, space evenly, flex start, flex end. These are like equally same. Okay, left, right, start, end, flex end. These are, suppose I will give here flex start. Suppose I will give a flex start property to our justify content. Okay, so it will move to left. That is our start point. Okay, so this is equal to the start. Okay, suppose we'll change it to left. So see, no difference is there. So all three are similarly equal. Okay, now we can also, suppose I will give a space between. Suppose I will, for now I will give a justify content to space between. Okay, so we can also apply, like we can also align the contents. Okay, suppose we want to align the contents. Okay, so we'll use a align content property. See here we are getting align content property. Here we are also getting some of the properties here. Suppose we'll align it to center. We have now aligned it to center, and we'll save it. Here we aren't getting any because this is equally distributed. Okay, suppose I will remove some of the divs here. Okay, and we will change it to only one column here. Okay. Now, sorry, give us three column here. Okay. Okay. Now we will increase the container height. Suppose I will give a 200 pixel height and we'll give the items height as 50 pixels. 50 not 30 pixels. Okay. Suppose we are given a height of particular div a height of 30 pixel and we have given the grid container a height of 200 pixel. Okay, and we have aligned it to center. So let's see what will happen. See, now our divs are aligned to center and we have given a height of 200 pixel to our container and a 30 pixel to our div items. Okay, so now suppose we'll remove this align content to center. Okay, so what will happen? It will move on to the top. Okay, so you can see the difference. Okay, suppose we can also give various properties. Suppose we'll give a space around. Give a space around property to our align content. Okay, see, no difference was there. Suppose I will give a space between, because in space around all the div spaces are equal. Okay, so here there are two divs, so these spaces are equal. Okay, it is now changed, it is gone on top. Okay, now we'll increase the divs here. Okay, suppose I will increase the divs. Suppose I will give 9 divs here. Okay, so I will give a 4, a 5, and a 6, and a 7, and a 8, and 9. Okay, so I have given 9 bits, 9 divs. Okay, so we'll save it. So we'll make our height bigger. We'll give a 900 pixel. Okay, so it is, I will use it to 700. Okay, so we have applied a space between, means these spaces will be equal. Okay, these div spaces will be equal. Suppose we'll use, where we'll reduce the 600 pixel and here we will use a space evenly aligned content. Okay, now we'll see the difference here. So now it is equally spaced. Okay, here when we are using justify content, the difference was taking place in our column. Okay, now when we are using this align content, the change is showing in the rows. Okay, the rows are equally distributed. Okay, like here when we applied justify content space evenly, all the columns are equally spaced. Here the rows are now equally spaced. Okay, so we'll apply a space around. Suppose, so we'll apply space around. So in space around, the div spaces are equal and the side spaces are equal, but the div spaces and the side spaces are not equal. Okay, so we can also use our flex start property. We can use flex start property here, so it will like stick to the left. Okay, Suppose we'll use a flex and property. It will go to like bottom. Okay, because here we are taking align content, not the justify content. Okay, so it is taking place in rows. Okay, not columns. Okay, so it has gone, all the disk has gone to bottom. Okay, if we were like, suppose I will comment these out and will use justify content to flex end. Okay, so what it will do is like shift it to the right. See, now it has shifted it to the right. So we are using justify content to space the columns and align content to space the rows. Okay, so we discussed almost all the properties that is inside our grid layout. Okay, so I think we have covered like everything on our CSS, every property in our CSS. Okay, so at last I will tell you that we'll also learn how to use grid in Bootstrap. Okay, uh, suppose here we'll create another page. Okay, we'll create another page. Okay, in this we'll learn how to create grid system using Bootstrap. Okay, Bootstrap is a framework. Okay, so it can like it makes our work easier by giving us some classes. Okay, we don't have to like style it. Okay, like in grid here we have to like give these properties here. We don't have to give these properties, like we have to here we have to give like three columns to give three columns in our layout. Okay, so we don't have to give, we just have to add a class that Bootstrap will provide. Okay, we just have to provide like here when we are providing CSS, so we have to use a library, Bootstrap library. Okay, a link will be provided by Bootstrap that you have to embed in your HTML page here. Okay, so Bootstrap provides five classes. Okay, that is first is call. Okay, five classes are there. Okay, first is call, means dot call means we will denote the class by like dot. Okay, this call class is used for like less extra small devices. Okay, like less than 576 pixel. Okay, okay, this call class is used for less than 570 pixel 76 pixel devices. Okay, then comes for medium devices, that is called MD. It is like equal to or greater than 576 pixel. Okay, so this is the second class, that is for medium devices. Here I will give a description: extra small devices. So it can be used, this class can be used when we are using extra small devices, that like we have the screen size of less than 576 pixel. This is for medium devices. Okay, when we are using like between like we are using greater than 576 pixel. Okay, medium devices. Okay, now come large devices. Okay, like here I have forgot you to like insert a call. There is a call SM also. Okay, for smaller devices. Okay, so this here, this screen size is applicable, will be applicable here. Okay, so this is for small devices. Okay, this call sm, you can use call sm class for using small devices. That is, it will be greater less than greater equal to or greater than 576 pixel. Okay, so we can use this class. Now we'll use call md, that will be like the size will be 768 pixel. Okay, equal to or greater than 768 pixel. It is for medium devices. So you can use call sm between 576 and 768. Okay, now we'll use for large devices. That is called LG. We'll use this class for like equal to or greater than 992 pixel. Okay, so this is used for large devices. Okay, that is large screen devices. Okay, okay, so we can use medium devices between 768 to 992 pixel. Okay, you can use medium devices. This call MD class. Okay, for medium devices. Now there is extra large devices. Okay, that is called XL. Okay, that is greater than like equal to or greater than 1200 pixel. Okay, it is used for extra large devices. Okay, so here we'll write extra large devices. Okay, so these four, like here we'll give dot. So these are five classes that Bootstrap provides for using the grid. Okay, so we just have to provide this call dot sem, call sm, call md, call lg. Okay, so we have to just like give these class names and your columns will be created. Okay, so in Bootstrap there are like 12 columns. The default is 12 columns. Okay, suppose we want to create 4 columns, so we have to give call 4, okay, class to our particular div. Means suppose we have to give call 3 to like distribute it into 4 columns. Okay, because total columns provided by Bootstrap is 12. Okay, so 12 by 3 is 4. Okay, so it will be distributed into 4 columns. So when we'll give 2, it will be divided into 6 columns. Suppose here we'll give 4, then it will be distributed into like 3 columns. Okay, and suppose we want like this they are equally spaced columns. Suppose, okay, suppose we want to make one div greater and one div smaller, so we can also give like this. We want to create 2 columns, one we want to make small and one we want to make big div. Okay, so we'll give one class name as call 4 and another as call 8. Okay, so this div will be greater and this div will be smaller. Okay, so now let's create it. Okay, so we'll start with our syntax. Okay, so we'll give grid using bootstrap. Okay, so first we'll create a div. Here we'll give a row class. Okay, inside this we'll add some of the divs here. Okay, so we'll create some divs here. Okay, so we want to create, like, suppose we'll give any of these classes to it. Okay, suppose we'll want to use this call class, okay, for extra small devices. Okay, so we'll give a class as dot call. Okay, suppose we have given, we haven't given any, like here we have provided with numbers, okay, to distribute it. So we haven't given any number here. Okay, so suppose we'll, like, give 5 columns here. Okay, 5 divs. Okay, we have given 5 divs here. So now here we have created our first row, and then we have created 5 columns here, and we have given dot call class. Okay, so now we'll save it, and let's see. We'll go to our page26.html. Okay, so now our layout is like this. Means it is not distributed into columns, but we have provided our dot call class. Okay, so it should divide. So what we are missing is we haven't provided the link of the bootstrap. Okay, the library which this class will come. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll embed a, like, we'll embed a link. Okay, suppose we'll go to our bootstrap here, we'll learn bootstrap 4. So we'll go to our bootstrap tutorial. Okay, so this is the link here. Okay, so you just copy and paste it in your, HTML page. This is the first method. Okay, you can also download it and place it in your folder. Okay, see, if you don't want to download and host bootstrap for yourself, you can use this link here. Okay, so we have pasted this bootstrap link here. Now we'll save it, and now we'll refresh it. See, we aren't getting our required column because we have made some mistake. Okay, suppose when we'll go to our, like, what we have done is here we have, we don't have to put a dot here. Okay, you, when we target it, then we have to put a dot. Okay, we just have to use this call. Okay, now we'll save it and refresh it. Now our columns are divided into 5 equal halves. Okay, so you can target it, like when we do a styling. Okay, you can also target by dot call or anything. Okay, so here we have, like, dot call sm, dot call md. So you can use these classes according to the screen sizes. Okay, suppose here I will use call md. Okay, and I will use, suppose, 3. Okay, here we will also use call md3, and call md3 means it will be divided into 4 equal halves. Means total is columns, row is 12. Okay, the bootstrap default is 12. Okay, so we have to divide it into 4 columns. So we are giving 3. That means, like, 3 spaces. Okay, out of 12. Suppose we'll also give it as 3. Okay, now suppose we'll comment this out and we'll save it. Now we'll refresh it. Now our, like, these 4 these divs are divided into 4 columns. Okay, so we can also add a styling here. Okay, so I will give a styling of, suppose I will use a color of maroon here. I will use a color of, suppose, salmon. Okay, so I'm using these colors. Okay, so sorry, I will use a background color. Okay. Background color here also. We'll use a background color. Okay, so we have used a background color in our first div and our third div. Okay, now we'll save it and refresh it. So our first div and third div has a color, background color of maroon and salmon. Okay, yeah, save it to light green. Okay, now our this number is visible now. Okay, so we can also style it according to this numbers. Okay, suppose we want to spread it into equal halves. Okay, so we have given, we want to differentiate the like into 4 columns. So we have given call md3. Suppose we want to like give 3 columns. Okay, so we'll replace it and we'll give 4 here. Okay, so it will be divided into 3 columns. Okay, so here it is divided into 3 columns. Okay, so what will happen when we give extra div here? Okay, suppose we'll also provide here column d4. Okay, we'll see it if it supports or not. Okay, we'll refresh it. Okay, see our fourth column is present at the bottom. It is not supporting this class. Okay, because we have provided column d4. So it is important to like when we are providing we want to divide the columns into 3 halves. It is important to provide these numbers. Suppose it is like here we have want to divide the columns into 3 halves. Okay, so we are putting column D4 here in all the 3 columns. Okay, so we want to like here we'll neglect this and suppose we want to make this div smaller and make this div bigger. Okay, so it will take 4 halves of the 12th part, whole 12th part, and it will take the remaining, that is 8. Okay, now we'll save it and now we'll refresh it. See, now it is taking 4 halves of the total 12th part and it is taking the 12th part of the whole 12, uh, like the bootstrap provide 12 halves. Okay, so it is taking 8 halves, this div is taking 8 halves and this is taking 4 halves. Okay, suppose here when we neglect this. Okay, so here we have provided our 4 halves and remaining columns. Okay, so it will support or not. See, the this web page understands the bootstrap has 12 columns, so it is taking like the remaining halves of that particular page. Okay, so here suppose we'll give 2. Okay, and we'll not give any number here in the second div. Okay, suppose we'll refresh it. See, now it is taking 2 halves and the remaining this div is taking all the halves. Okay, so like this you can apply various classes called SMMD, LG, XL according to different screen sizes. Okay, So for now we have studied about grid system in Bootstrap. Okay, now we will know how to. We have see here we have pasted the link or the CDN. Okay, we will also know how to install our Bootstrap. Okay, we will install our Bootstrap now. Okay, so we'll go to our getbootstrap.com. Okay, here we'll go on to our getbootstrap.com. Okay, so here you can see our download button is coming. From here you can also download, and from here you can also download. Here the current version is 4.5.0. Okay, so we'll download it. Okay, so here compiled CSS and JS files are there, and there is source files. So we will download this file. Okay, compiled CSS and JS file. So our zip file is downloaded now. Okay, we'll go on our folder. Here we'll cut, we'll copy it and paste it on our folder location. Okay, where our this this folder is present. Okay, so we'll go to our folder. Our folder is my first website. Okay, here we'll paste our bootstrap zip file. Okay, so then we will extract it. So see here our bootstrap folder is now present. Okay, we go into it. See there are two folders. One is CSS folder and one is JS folder. Okay, so here in CSS folder we'll use this bootstrap.min.css. This file we will use, and in JS folder we'll use this bootstrap.min.js file. Okay, so we have pasted our bootstrap, okay, in our desired folder. Okay, selected folder we have pasted here. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll here like so. Now we will give the path. We'll suppose comment out this. We'll give the path of this desired folder, this folder here, this file. Okay, bootstrap.min.css. So it is under our bootstrap 4.5. Okay, and then CSS, and then this file. Okay, so we have to give that location in our HTML page. Okay, so we will write link rel equals to style sheet, and then we'll give the path. Okay, href equals to, then we'll use our see we'll use this bootstrap 4.5.0. in here we'll go to our CSS file. From here we'll use bootstrap.min.css file. Okay, so we have pasted our bootstrap.min.css path in our HTML page. Okay, so first here you can see we have like commented out this line. Okay, this CDN. Okay, and we have installed our bootstrap and pasted our link here, given our path here of that bootstrap.min.css. Okay, now we'll save it and then we'll refresh it. See, now our bootstrap is working. Okay, if we'll remove this path here, suppose we'll save it now. Okay, and see our bootstrap is now not working. Okay, so you have to either give the CDN or you have to install the bootstrap manually and place it on your folder. Okay, so here I have installed the bootstrap. Okay, so we'll give this path here. Okay, you can also use like this path if you want to use JS. If you are using JS file, okay, so you have to use this bootstrap.min.js. okay, so you have installed, if you have installed the bootstrap, you can give the path like this: script src equals to the path of that particular folder or file. Okay, bootstrap.min.js. Okay, this file here. So we have given our JS file path here. Okay, suppose if you want to use a CDN, you can use this CDN here. Script src equals to this CDN. You can get it from W3 schools or from Bootstrap site. Okay, you can use this JS. If you want to use JS in your HTML page, you can use this link CDN, or you can use this path. Okay, so when we are using JavaScript, we first have to insert a jQuery into our HTML page, a CDN of jQuery. Suppose we'll get it from here. Okay, see, here you can see our jQuery library. Okay, first we have to insert this jQuery library. Only then this JavaScript file will work. Okay, if we will not use this insert this jQuery library, it here, like, it will be always placed above the bootstrap library or bootstrap link path here. Okay, you have to always give like first the jQuery library and then the bootstrap JS library. Okay, so now we have given all the links or paths here. Okay, now we'll save it, and now it should work. Okay, we haven't used any JavaScript here, so use of this link will not be shown here. Okay, so what is jQuery? jQuery is a JavaScript library. Okay, like it uses jQuery uses plugins sometimes. Okay, so it makes our JavaScript code shorter. So it is a library used to write JavaScript code easily. Okay, suppose I will write JavaScript here. I will add some more lines. Okay, suppose I will give a p and I will write something here. Okay, in a paragraph. Okay, I will do some JavaScript here. Okay, so I will give a button and I will add an event listener in here on click. Okay, and when this is clicked, a function should be executed. Okay, so we'll give a function name. Okay, you can give any name you want. Okay, so here we'll give our function name. Okay, and we'll give our button name. Okay, so we want, if this, we'll ignore this para. Okay, so if we want, when we click this button, this paragraph color should be changed. Okay, by default it is of black color. Okay, let's see. Okay, to save it and we will refresh it. See, I am a paragraph. Okay, we want that if we click onto this button, this paragraph color should change. Okay, so first we'll do this by our JavaScript. Okay, and always keep in mind that when we are using JavaScript or a jQuery or Bootstrap, always put the CDN at the bottom of our HTML code. Okay, in here. Okay, inside our body tag. Okay, suppose we'll go to our function javascript.js. Here we have a function written. Okay, we'll write another function, that is color change. Okay, so what we want here is to change the color of this paragraph. Okay, suppose we'll give a class name to this paragraph here. Okay, now we'll go to our script.js. We'll target our paragraph class. Okay, then we will give our class name, that is para. Okay, now we will change the color. Okay, so we'll apply the styling property dot style dot color. Okay, equals to, we'll give suppose red. Okay, so we have, what we have done is, when we click onto this button, a function will be executed. Okay, then in our JavaScript code, inside our function, here we have targeted our para class, and we have, what we have done is, we have changed the style, we have changed the font color to red. Okay, now we will give this folders path in our HTML document here. Okay, we have to, in order to use the JavaScript function, we have to give that path of that file, because it is an external file. Okay, so we have to give the path of that JavaScript folder or file. Okay, so we'll use script.js here. Okay, so we have given the path of this file here. Okay, and one more thing, here when we use get elements by class name, it will not get you this like it will not target this para only. Okay, suppose, let's see, we'll save it. Okay, and we'll refresh it, and we'll click on it. See, when we click onto this button, our para color is not changing, because when we use this get elements by class name, it not only selects one element, it selects an array of elements. Okay, so we have to give like array index. Okay, suppose we have to give our array index, so we'll give 0, means its first value. Now when we save it and we'll refresh it, and when we click onto this button, now our functionality is working properly. So when we use this get elements by class name, also always note down that it like selects an array of elements. Okay, so you have to give it by its index number. Okay, instead of this, you can also use document dot query selector here. Okay, in this you have to give your, like in get elements by class name, you don't have to target it by its, like there you have suppose given the class name. Okay, so you don't have to give the dot. Okay, but here it is targeting the class, so you have to give the para. Okay, if you want to give an id, so you can target it by its id using hash. Okay, here we'll add a dot because we are targeting the class. Okay, now we'll save it and we'll refresh it, and we'll click onto this button. See, now our para color is changing. Okay, so now we have done this with our JavaScript code. Okay, so now we'll change it and do it with our jQuery code. So first we will comment these lines out. Okay, we'll comment these lines out. Okay, and we'll write now our jQuery. Okay, so jQuery syntax is different from JavaScript. Okay, like to initialize jQuery, we use this $sign. Okay, Then we will put a parenthesis. Suppose we are targeting this para here. Okay, so we'll give the selector. Okay, means we will target by using dot para. Okay, now we have to change the property here, the styling property. So we are using CSS, so we will use dot CSS, and we want to will again give a parenthesis. We'll start with the property. Here what property we are changing? Color. So we'll give a color property, then a comma separated by comma, then we'll give the value. Suppose we want to change the color to red here, or suppose we'll change it to blue. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so we have to write this line of code to change the color of this paragraph to blue. Okay, now we'll save it. Also make sure that this CDN is added in our HTML page. Okay, jQuery. Okay, then only it will work. Okay, now we have saved it. We'll click on refresh and we'll see. Click our button and now our paragraph changes to blue color. Okay, so this is the syntax of our jQuery. Okay, if you will remove this jQuery here, so we'll remove this jQuery and we'll refresh it and click onto this button, our jQuery will not work. Okay, like we have uh, inserted a CDN, we can also download jQuery. Okay, suppose we'll comment these out. Okay, and we'll download it from our jQuery.com. Okay, we download the jQuery. Sorry, I have given the wrong address. Okay, jQuery.com. Okay, so inside this we can download our jQuery. Here we'll go on to our downloads. We can also download by using npm install jQuery. Okay, so we'll download this production. Okay, jQuery. Okay, just a minute. We'll right click on it and we'll save it. Okay, we'll save it in our desired folder. Okay, where our project is located. Okay, so we will paste it here. Okay, so we'll save this jQuery file in our location folder. Okay, so here you can see our jQuery is now loaded. Okay, so now we can use this. Okay, so we have commented out this CDN. Now we have downloaded it, so we'll click refresh and suppose here just a minute. Okay, so our jQuery is present here. Now we'll go to our page 26.html. We haven't pasted the location here. Okay, so we'll give our location. Okay, so what is the, so we'll give this path here. Okay, so we have given this path of jQuery. Now we'll save it. Now it will work properly. Okay, we'll refresh it. Now we'll click it. The paragraph changes to blue. Okay, so here you have learned how to use jQuery, install jQuery, and use bootstrap grade. Okay, and the grade functionality. Okay, so for today it is we are on the end of this web design course. Okay, so it is the last portion we are covering. Okay, so I will end this lecture here only. Okay, we'll continue further in our next lecture.